Hi everyone and welcome back to my 21 to 25 week pregnancy update. I do actually have some new symptoms this month. I feel like the last update things were kind of the same from the time before, apart from my scan with the low-lying placenta. If you haven't seen that one, I'll link it below. I found out that I have a low-lying placenta at my 20-week scan, which basically means that the baby's exit is obstructed by the placenta, the cervix opening. Elena's currently singing Lady Gaga, Bad Romance in the background. Her new favourite song. Yeah, so apart from that, but the kind of general symptoms were quite the same, but this time then in the kind of 21st to 25th week, particularly the last couple of weeks, I have had some new symptoms which are all not particularly pleasant ones. The one that's been probably the worst for me and the most notable over the last week or so has been pelvic pressure and just pelvic pain in general, and actually it's been really quite painful and it's quite bad. I noticed it at first at night, so if I've been lying down all night, even though I kind of toss and turn, like if I have to go up to the toilet or up in the morning, like I can feel a lot of pain down there. And I remember having this toward the end of my pregnancy last time, but not so much this early on. But I did research it, and it's about generally it's about the position of the baby. Elena's just breaking my vase in the background. It's more about the position of the baby and so on. But there was a couple of days when I was in the office this week, and I think it's the office chairs. I actually felt crippled when I was getting up from the chair just to go to the toilet or go out for my lunch. And actually once I started walking for a little while, it eased, but that first initial getting up, and by the end of the day, sitting in that chair for the whole kind of 8:30 till 5 PM working day, even though I did get up to go to the toilet, I did get up to go out and get my lunch, I was in so much pain, like I almost felt like I could cry. It was so horrible. So I definitely think those chairs were worse, because I worked from home on Friday this week and I didn't have any of those problems. It was still in the background, but it was definitely nowhere near as bad as it had been the previous couple of days. So pelvic pain is one, and it kind of goes hand in hand with sciatica, which I've been experiencing down the right side of my lower back, which apparently is the kind of place that you generally do have sciatica. And it's basically like a shooting pain through your back that generally just comes if you've been in a position that maybe you've twisted or you're twisting round or something, or if you're just standing up suddenly and it's like a nerve in your back, and sometimes the baby can lie on the sciatic nerve. So when I was pregnant with Elena, she was lying on the sciatic nerve from about 30 weeks onward, and that was really bad. But I've had this on and off I think since really about like 15 weeks or something, so for a good 10 weeks or so, and it's been pretty bad this week. So between pelvic pain and sciatic pain in my back, I have not been a happy bunny this month. And on top of all that, I have been getting really bad heartburn now. So I think now that the baby is taking up more room in my belly, I guess everything's just a little bit higher up and I am getting heartburn, and it doesn't really matter what I eat, although I seem to get it a lot with salads, which is a real shame because I really enjoy salads and summer's coming up and I eat a lot of salads at lunchtime. I don't know if it's just coincidence, but I seem to get it a lot with salads. But yeah, I've been getting heartburn, which is not the most comfortable and it's a pretty rubbish pregnancy symptom. I've been trying not to take any medication unless I really have to, if it gets really bad. I've just been trying to just drink lots of water and kind of ride it out. Another symptom this time around has been bleeding gums, and I definitely remember this from the last time. And again, it's quite a common pregnancy complaint, but like just flossing like gently and my gums are like pouring, like honestly it's just disgusting. Not very nice at all, but obviously you have to kind of keep up with your teeth hygiene routine anyway. I've actually got a dentist appointment in a couple of weeks, so I'm trying to keep flossing, but yeah, my gums are bleeding every time I do that, and even sometimes just brushing. So that's kind of it in terms of like new symptoms, if you like, but I have had some more cravings the past few weeks, and this first one is something that I really craved the last time around, and it's strange, and it goes hand in hand with what I've said about my sweet tooth. I've had such a bad sweet tooth this pregnancy, and it's marshmallows, and I don't know what it is. It's not the flump ones, it's not the kind of Haribo sugary ones, it's like the fat-free marshmallows. I'll insert a picture of what I'm talking about here. The kind of ones that you roast over a fire. I don't know why, but I'm really craving them, and I can't eat too many of them because they are really sweet, but I want a handful of them. And actually, I remember from my first trimester that stopped me from feeling sick. So I don't know if it's anything to do with that, but I have definitely been craving marshmallows. And the other thing I have been trying to do is have a smoothie every morning. And I think that's been helping a little with my sweet tooth. I haven't been snacking so much in the day, which is definitely a good thing. But water, like, I'm just generally thirsty all the time. So I'm drinking so much water, and I even had to get up in the middle of the night the other night and go down and get a bottle of water because I'd forgotten to take some with me to bed. So definitely super thirsty. Obviously that goes hand in hand with needing to pee all the time. One final pregnancy symptom. It's not really new for this past month, but it's definitely starting to get more pronounced, and that is just dizziness and general lightheadedness, which is actually quite scary when you're pregnant. It's actually scary anytime, but especially when you're pregnant. So I have taken to try and keep a chocolate bar and a bottle of water in my bag at all times, because the first time I found it really, really bad was in the airport, and that was probably about 5 or 6 weeks ago. So the first time I felt this sort of lightheaded dizziness really bad was in the airport, and I was waiting on a flight, and I always wait to the last minute. I cannot be bothered with queuing. I do not know why people queue when they have an assigned seat on the plane anyway. Everyone's getting on, so there's really no need to queue. So I never queue, so I sat and waited, but then they said they were boarding the plane by seat number, and so I had to queue for, like, when they called out my seat number, it was like 16 to 26 or something, and that was in my group. So I went up and waited in the queue, and I thought it wouldn't take too long, it's not that many seats. And then their machine broke, like, that checks you in, I guess, that they scan the boarding pass with. It broke, and they didn't tell us for ages, so we were just standing there, and I could just feel it coming on. Like, it was quite early in the morning, I was quite tired, I hadn't really had a big breakfast because it was about, I don't know, this was probably about 6 in the morning, my flight was about 6:30, and I could feel it coming over me. And then later that day on the way home, I was flying back from Manchester airport, and I could feel it while I was waiting in Boots to buy a bottle of water. And I was in a big queue, and I was actually just thinking, like, I think I'm going to faint in this queue, while I'm just trying to get a bottle of water to, like, take away that lightheaded feeling. So I'm not letting myself get in that position now. I'm trying to be a lot more careful. Obviously you can't take water through security, which is a big issue. So I'm trying to always keep like a bar of chocolate or something on me so that I don't get in that position again. But it's quite scary. It usually happens when it's like a little bit hot, crowded, busy. You're standing for too long, it's been a while since you've eaten, so something to look out for if you're approaching your second trimester, but definitely something that's always been an issue for me, and particularly when I'm pregnant. So that brings us to the end of this pregnancy update. So like there were... You're welcome. So that brings us to the end of this pregnancy update. There were a few new symptoms to share with you this last few weeks, so hopefully you found this useful. If you liked this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the My Fashion Cupboard Baby channel for lots more videos as I progress through my pregnancy, and lots of videos with having a toddler who you can hear in the background and a newborn fairly soon. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye! So this is my bump at 25 weeks. It has definitely popped, like I don't know if you can see here, but really like it's starting to move up. I feel quite high, and yeah, I look pretty huge now, so baby is definitely getting bigger.